Hey everyone, and welcome to week 2 of Ape In to zkSummer with Tahoe Wallet and Across Bridge, and of course with some incredible projects that we are highlighting today from the gaming space on zkSync era. So welcome everyone. My lovely co-host up here too, Nico. Thank you for joining, Clayton.
What's up? I have lots of emojis.
Thanks for those. I'm trying to get Crypto Maze up on here as a speaker as well.
I see Smarty's got his emoji game going.
Yeah, things are really picking up. I guess we're going to hear in the community call if some of you guys are, part of our Discord community and you weren't aware, we did change the time of our community call. So it's going to be 2 hours from now. So if you want to join the Across Discord, we have had volume really start to pick up to and from zkSync this week. We did deploy last week, but a little bit of like naturally, I guess, a slower start. But I think the data team will have some like really juicy numbers to give everyone. So yeah, please join the community call 2 hours from now. And I think, yeah, we have everyone on. Okay, excellent. So yeah, welcome everyone. Maybe we can start with Ivan, who was here first. And Ivan is here representing from Robots Farm. If you want to just give us a bit in general introduction of yourself and your protocol. And yeah, why zkSync?
Hi everyone. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I really appreciate you having this space today. And yeah, thank you for our host and co-host. And I love to see the Crypto Maze. Also, that's not our first IMA together. Yeah, glad you guys joined the ZK. The ZK been very fast growing network in the recent months. As you know, like ZK been built like for a pretty long time, starting from like ZK Lite all the way to zkSync era that we have right now. And I think the main reason why we chose the zkSync era over other blockchains that we had experience building on other blockchains in the past. And main difference is that when you have finalization, like somewhere outside Ethereum, for example, they're using like the blockchain using their own nodes or they have some kind of like proof of work or proof of stake, then you're dealing with twice amount of problems and things that can go wrong. It's everything from RPC connection all the way to just the basic security issues and even the bridge, like how the bridges operate on such networks and how safe and reliable is the network that is run by individuals that doesn't, not necessarily have as much network effect as Ethereum does. So the zk sync was first of all the security reasons, like just
Did we lose Ivan there? Can everyone hear me okay?
am I rugging or
Yeah, it was a little bit at the end there. Yeah, maybe if you can
okay.
just, yeah, maybe at the last couple sentences, if you could just, yeah, let us know again. Okay, well, while Ivan's reconnecting, and maybe we can have Rick from ggQuest if you wanted to come up on stage and introduce yourself and the project.
Hey, thanks for having me. How are you been doing? Um, so yeah, I'm Rick. A bit about myself. I've been into gaming space my whole life. Used to be a professional gamer in Counter-Strike Source, a semi-pro in Dota, and then won several LAN parties in Rainbow Six Siege, Team Fortress 2. So I have like a good eye, let's say, at competitive games, and been also since 2018 in blockchain. Um, and so I had my venture DAO, Honey DAO, and after that I was seeing like gaming popping up within blockchain space. Well, naturally for me it was a click. I was like, okay, what would be needed in like 1-2 years for this vertical to succeed? And so that's why when I started to build ggQuest. So we saw several, let's say, issues. So a lot of games don't have a lot of users. So they have difficulties to retain the users as well, because of people trying to sybil attack, or the way the free means worked, and that was incentivized for people to sybil attack, let's say. And next to that, we had also the fragmentation of let's say, achievements. If you look at Web2 games, you have like Steam or Xbox or other big platforms, and all your data is stored there. In Web3, everything is fragmented. Like every ecosystem, every chain is now doing their own, let's say, achievements, or even every game as well. And so we are bringing with ggQuest all of this together in one hub, so that the player sees in an aggregated way all these stats, all these achievements, let's say, all this gaming history, on-chain gaming history at a glance, and we'll issue a score based on that. We call it GG score. Think of the DGen score of GameFi. And so people will earn, let's say, a score based on how they played in all the on-chain games in crypto since 2018. And that will unlock several opportunities for them as games look for, let's say, reputable players. So yeah, think of whitelist or reputation-gated tournaments, etc. And to be able to create that, we have built a whole infrastructure where we index data from on-chain games. And so we have a whole infra which make it possible to create an SDK. So everyone will be able to create, let's say, their own badge or achievement or quest through our SDK. So yeah, took a bit inspiration of Lens and Farcaster, how they're building a protocol with primitives, and all primitives are not social, but let's say game-based. So that's ggQuest in a nutshell.
Okay, so it is a prerequisite for launching quests on there is to be a gaming project. This is like the differentiating factor, correct?
Yeah, exactly. And we also only track in-game actions. So nothing with, and we also want to avoid that people actually have to go there and complete things. It's more about tracking your gameplay. So we track like in-game actions of games. And if you, for instance, did all these actions, you killed that mob or that zombie, and then you did 5 headshots or whatever, that will be noted. And based on that, we can then issue a score. So we want to avoid like social media farming, because that attracts the wrong public, let's say, and that's also easily sybil attacked.
Right. Yeah, I love it. Leaderboard for all the gamers out there. And plenty of those gamers will surely have played Crypto Maze. So yeah, welcome to the stage to Crypto Maze. I'd love to hear. Yeah. Who's behind the mic?
Behind the mic is the man, Alex Evans here, the CEO of Crypto Maze. And before I start, thanks across. Happy to see you over to zkSync. It's a very, very quality product that you're doing. It's super safe, and people have a lot of trust with you guys. So very happy to see you here. And shout out to Robots Farm. We have done some spaces with them and Ivan. Pretty cool stuff. Shout out to ggQuest. What you guys are doing is very smart, very much needed in the space. But let me tell you about Crypto Maze. Basically, we're together with Tavera. I think we're the first gaming partner of zkSync back in like early 2022, even before that. So last year, we have shipped a small game. It's an MMO with the 3D characters for our community. Basically, they can log in with their NFTs, chat, have fun, play, customize like a sandbox game. This year, we have deployed the marketplace on zkSync Era. We have deployed Maze Race, the kart racing game, with over 1.2 million NFTs minted in like 2 weeks. So this is kind of an overview what we have done until now. Where we are going is basically CryptoMaze is shaping to be a zk EVM platform for gaming and entertainment. Basically, we'll allow game studios, everyday people connecting with brands and deploying games safely, easily, and secure. So all that contains, of course, our in-house studio and the cool games that we are launching, but also people can expect not only NFT projects to start launching with us, but also other games very, very shortly. And just last thing to say, shout out to all the people in the crowd. I see a lot of Moody Mites, our successful sold out collection. I see a lot of avatars here, so shout out. And I want to say to the audience, please be active in the comments because we have a giveaway today with the cross. So the best questions in the comment section, emojis, all of that good jazz. Let's go.
Okay, you beat me to it. Yes, and that's why you are the OG. Thanks for putting out that reminder. Yeah, everyone, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat and we'll be sure to pick one of them. And yeah, as you mentioned, there's like an incredible giveaway today. So if that's not an incentive to get more active in the chat, I don't know what is. So let's get started. The first question I had was that, yeah, I love this panel, by the way, because I think when you think gaming panel of an ecosystem, I don't think you can get more diverse than this. We have ggQuest, which is, again, like the leaderboard of all gaming, and CryptoMaze, like actual live game, and then the most gamified DEX, like DeFi gaming, like beautiful combination with Robots Farm. So I wanted to ask all of you, like how you individually meet the demands of the crypto gaming audience, because those demands are getting higher and higher as we evolve.
Oh, that's a great question. If you don't mind, like Mace, maybe you want to kick it, and I will continue.
No, please, Ivan, be the first. Thank you.
All right, sure. Yeah, I think it's a great question. So definitely, like the narrative have changed since 2017 when we first time joined crypto. Can't believe it's been almost 6 years, and like time have changed. Like from people are, like obviously like we see a lot of adoption in the space. So we see a lot of newcomers. We see a lot of people with 1 year, half a year, maybe like 2 years of experience in the space. So they're really like still learning and still going through this learning curve when you think that you know everything and then all of a sudden you know nothing. And now you're slowly building your confidence on the market again. So obviously like in the end of the day, like I think crypto is challenging enough. And what we're trying to bring to the market is like free and simplified gaming experience, because like, for example, we use, what's it called, like gasless transactions. So you would technically now use only signatures, but we're slowly moving into gasless transactions. But the point is like reduce the bottleneck for users to participate, to start their journey in crypto, to get something that is actually valuable, get something that they can stick with. One of our latest integration was integration with ENS, and what it gives us is opportunity to build the CCIP read and provide all of our players with a Web3 name, and this Web3 name could be like taking with them everywhere they go, if they use like a MetaMask, Trust Wallet, or anything like that. For example, somebody forgot their name, they can say like, hey, I'm John.robots.farm, and we give these domains for free, and they have same quality as ETH domains. So things like that we can expand, and things like that we can do for our user base is something that kind of like differentiate the market of 2017 from the market of 2023, sorry. And I think if you're going into even more adoption, we're speaking about account abstraction, we're speaking about all this, integrational parts that are missing so far, or not widely used, that will give us the leverage to start speaking to the people who are really new to crypto. Great question. I think CryptoMaze would definitely have something to add there.
Yeah, very cool insights, Ivan. And I do agree. Basically, same like you, I've been in the space for like 6-7 years, and a lot has changed. But right now, no matter how it sounds, it's actually projects like us here on the ZK rollups basically dictating what's next. because when we did this multiplayer event, people had a lot of fun with the kart racer, minted a lot of NFTs. Now they own some free digital assets and they expect what's next. So this is something that is kind of a narrative of like gamified storytelling, brands coming in, experiences. The thing is, people in the Web3 have like a lot of demands and expectations because usually in Web3 people came for the speculation first. So in that matter, we always were very smart of not releasing too much assets of our game assets. Same with the avatars, the Moody Mites. So we can really take time to build this culture, this IP, the whole story, everything around it, and little by little, like every 5, 6 months, adding new wave of people to the project. So you don't see this kind of a big boom and then bust like the early stage games. Firstly, what we're looking at is to not only satisfy the demands of the crypto gaming audience because it's relatively small. We had around 300K active for the maze race because the guys that are in crypto maze, they have shipped like Web2 games before. And the traditional casual Web2 game had a couple mil players. Hopefully we do more with our next title. So we're looking to actually bring the values of Web3 to the Web2 gamers. So kind of a backwards, because in Web3 it's already kind of crowded, right? It's kind of a dog versus dog, but we're actually looking how to bring the values, the nature of the Web3, even the little digenism that we all have, to the Web2 players. Bring them ownership, bring them self-sovereignty, so when they experience what it's like to buy a pack of, let's say, cards or to get an upgrade, but not to actually give it to the devs, but actually to own the actual assets. They'll never just go to the old models. So, yeah.
Oh, that is a super way to think about it because I wouldn't have thought of it in that way. And you're right, it is a dog versus dog world. It does feel like there's, with every roll up, there's just a lot to keep up with, right? New ecosystems, even more new projects. But yeah, I like the perspective of being more in competition with the traditional space and showing traditional gamers sort of what they're missing out on. How about from ggQuest? Rick, any thoughts on this question of how you're meeting the demands of crypto gaming audience, potentially even Web2 gaming audience?
Yeah, sure. I agree with what has been said. So I think users in the crypto space, they are here for speculation at the end of the day. If you look at early users of crypto, they only had the ability to buy or sell a coin. There were like no smart contracts. You couldn't do anything. So at the very base, I think speculation is something that will stay in crypto. On the other hand, I see like how the blockchain technology can evolve gaming on its own. Like, for instance, games that are working fully on chain with their game state on the blockchain, you can have then various possibilities that would not be possible in Web2. For instance, the modding aspect. Because now everything is open source, everything is there, you can easily have people building on top of your game, which is kind of tricky in Web2. And so in Web2, you can build a mod for a game, but then if the game is offline, the mod is gone as well. It's very difficult to monetize because of your IP. And not all games want to open their SDKs or let people build on top of their games. So that's a very different point than Web2. And so I believe we'll see like very cool mods popping out of that. that will create like new gaming genres, new categories that we perhaps don't know yet, like what happened with Dota, which was completely new, which is a mod of Warcraft. We have seen that with Counter-Strike. We have seen that with all other kind of mods, DayZ, for instance. So it's very very cool to see what technology will bring. We don't know yet where it goes, but yeah, I'm super excited about that. And for ggQuest in particular, we think it's important to focus on the on short term, like on the people that are within the space, right? There are users. A lot of users have also, let's say, in crypto, more money than a normal gamer, because of the speculative aspect of how crypto is. So yeah, I think it's about building first a community of gamers and then evolving the game. And as you grow, as the community gets bigger, you can target larger audiences. Yeah,
that's
a bit
interesting.
overview.
That's a good factor for strategy, definitely, because they're in terms of targeting, because Web3 people would just be more used to and comfortable with buying Web3 assets, like you mentioned. So that leads us to our next question was in regards to NFTs. How do NFTs intertwine with each of your individual protocols? And I mean, we still have not reached boom number 2 just yet, but what do you say to those people who thinks that next NFT bull run is not coming?
Let me take this one.
Was a question for me or?
Sorry, just for everyone. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I'm speaking. So I will just. I think NFTs are not dead at all. They are just evolving and they are getting better and cooler than yesterday. If you look at how the technology is evolving in the NFT world, then it's amazing. Like we have what we use, for instance, soulbound tokens. So it's a non-transferable NFT. It permits to give you a reputation on top of it, and it's only then in your wallet. You have like new standards like the ERC 6551 that is like your backpack. It's an NFT, and then you can put in all kind of rewards or achievements that you had in all kind of games, and you can have that at one place. So yeah, NFTs are evolving and will keep evolving, and they're long from that. What about the ape price or the board ape price? That's another thing. Yeah, the PFPs will still be there, but will they go as high as they have been? That's another question. If you look at crypto cycles, for instance, the old, let's say, from the ICO boom to the last bull market, coins as EOS and all those kind of coins, they didn't go as high as other coins because they already had their boom. And when something is new, you have then a very high boom, and then if it's successful, it will continue like across the cycles, like Bitcoin and Ethereum. If it isn't, then it will go higher, but perhaps not as high as we want it to be.
Okay, so unsure about PFPs, but very bullish, it seems, on other NFT FI or NFT utility. Any other thoughts on the panel?
Absolutely. When I hear like NFTs, are they dead? This is so funny. Like we've just minted 1.2 million of them. They don't seem dead. Just like ggQuest said, so much soulbound token, so much innovation. We're talking to brands basically using NFT technology. Now, if we're talking about are the basically two guys in a basement selling a PFP collection for 5 million? Yes, probably it's not going to happen anytime soon anymore. If we're talking, oh yeah, let's have a 10,000 collection and sell it for $20 million and then wondering what we're going to do. Yes, This is gone. But saying NFTs are dead is just like people who are saying, "Oh, the MP3 music format is dead. The big companies won't adopt it, this and that." And then what happened is actually they find a new business model for digital music and stuff like this. So very similar to this, basically we're seeing the NFTs are actually evolving. And to all of you who are like interested in zkSync, let me drop a little alpha. Like the absolute biggest NFT drop of zkSync is yet to come, and it's monumental. So it will be most likely even bigger than ours. So in terms
Bullish.
of that, no, NFTs absolutely bullish. Yeah. So NFTs far from that, and actually again, a lot of brands, entities looking to incorporate storytelling, loyalty programs, all with the NFT format. Not to mention how NFTs act in our ecosystem, from all of the in-game skins and characters, and again, reputation, soulbound token. It's an NFT, so it's a major one. Of course, the infrastructure is changing. Let me add a bit of a hot topic. I see a lot of people and some friends in the audience. Shout out to Alexander, shout out to Amy. But my friend Deepak, I told him last year, look, in about a year time, the biggest marketplaces will be dead. And he was like, what are you talking about? Like OpenSea, Blur, they're just huge there. And I was like, no, just watch. And what happens is those big marketplaces started like going over projects, started removing royalties, started acting against the creation. And the dog versus dog is basically the current result. So what's coming next is actually marketplaces who collaborate with each other. I can give a shout out to Immutable X and what they're doing over there. Rather than competing, they try to connect with everyone and provide quality IPs, quality games and services. So actually it's a win-win for everyone with the shared liquidity. So we're looking to do something similar here on zkSync, and I think it will be great.
Yeah, I love that because the NFT community seems like it's always all love. So that kind of like fierce competitive strategy, it makes sense that it's not really working. Yeah, Ivan, yeah, please come up on stage. We want to hear how are NFTs. Yeah, your project is saying everything is NFT, so we want to know about that.
Yeah, oh, that's indeed true. But I just want to give you some numbers. So we're actually pretty close with the maze. Like we have 1 million NFTs mint. Like it's not minted, so like basically we keep in like in game, and people can mint them on demand. So whenever they want, they can move them to zkSync and use them as a asset. And funny part, like only 1% of users do so. So having everything NFTs, like it's a good point, but as you can see just by this number, even there is a market, there is there is some Ethereum volume and so on. People do not really like, they love to have this opportunity, right? But it's not like as fundamental as like is could look from the, you know, from the first look. So like this 1% of people trading is kind of like self-explanatory. But I want to dive into your question a little bit deeper and bear yourself. That could sound a little bit geeky, but we are like, I previously did just now like a project with Domain World, and we did this .art integration into the ENS space. So what was pretty unique for me when I was on this project is that when I was researching, I realized that the first ever NFT that existed was actually domains. So .com domains are actually non-fungible tokens of network of .com. So your like for example, black.com is not similar to my black Ivan.com, for example. So that kind of give you the idea of like the non-fungibility of the tokens very early on. So then you have this .com boom, and in 90s people like bought plenty of .com domains, and they went to zero, right? People was throwing a party with their .com domains, everything similar to NFT space today, the crypto NFT space, I would say, because there was NFTs before, and that was like very similar. And then the whole bubble burst. But what you seen after that is that people adopted domains. There is a retail game came on the market, like GoDaddy was the first like retail player on the market who was like just made domains like retail. They could, like, my grandma could buy one and make them funny and as hell. So like it's not like serious anymore. So what we're gonna see is that NFT would eventually evolve, and like 10 years from now, people would use NFTs same way as they use MySQL, CCIP, any type of databases. And they would use it the similar way, the similar fashion. They would not even question where is it, like,
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
where is the NFT, what platform is it on, and how is it working? Because the underlying technology would be just like seamless. And that way we'll see that some of the domains like the .com and others, like, they're still popping. You can still make like a lot of money if you're in the speculation space. There would be domain investors, like NFT investors of future, who would be very like professionals. This kind of like this trade would not be something that is like mainstream anymore. So people would kind of like forget about NFTs for a while because they won't be on the surface, but people would still trade the technology in a bigger sense.
Wow, that's some really cool history. I never thought of NFTs in that way. And yeah, I like that. I say like the example of the domains bubble. And I love the fact that people are throwing parties with it. That's kind of sad though, because we want
that's facts, right?
I want the parties to continue though. They are super fun. So that's maybe a little bit disappointing.
.coms are still going like for as a hot price, right? After 30 years, you will see
Right.
the curve going back and like even more expensive than before, like people selling this .com single word domains for millions. So like we will see that coming back into shape. Well, it's going to be like a whole new story, right? And I think that the party will continue.
Nice. Okay, that's good to hear. So individually, how do NFTs fit into your projects? I mean, it might seem really obvious, but for example, like at Crypto Maze, if I want to go and play the game right now, which NFT do I need? I know this because I tried to play the other day, but please let our audience know.
So yeah, the way we approach, actually, again, I'll go back to the Web2 users, because in Web3 it's very, very simple. Like everyone from the audience understands, based on the history of, let's say, Bored Apes and Yuga, that if you own a digital asset that we release, let's say a Cryptomite 3D collectible or a Moodymite, you basically own a piece of a lot of things. So you're not only part of the club, but you're also qualified for different drops, for different events. And at some point, again, back to catering to Web3 community, when we decide to decentralize the whole protocol, you know what's coming. But for the Web2 people, we don't tell them it's even an NFT because it's scary. We just have a QR code, and when you scan the QR code with your phone, you get your first free digital collectible and a pack that you can send to your friends, again for free. So free onboarding, no scary words, no nothing. From there, I actually agree with Ivan that especially in game design, some things can be NFT, and there's a cool reasons, and some things shouldn't be like actual NFT. So not everything could be NFTified. But in our current structure, we have a few types of NFTs. One of the actual playable characters, the Cryptomites, they're fully customizable, so you can develop them. They have own stats. Again, they are tradable. You can do a lot of stuff with that, but you can also do a very cool cross play between different games, which is a topic that wasn't like very popular in the Web2 gaming. Like if I have an asset in this game, can I play another game? And the whole like, no, you have to pay again. So another NFTs that we have are the PFP avatars, and I kind of changed my perspective about PFPs. I was a bit bearish on them, but now I understand that like not only every Web3 user that is proudly flexing his Moodymite avatar is our advocate, but all the millions of little dudes and gamers and whatever on social media that will get the next generation of Moody Mites for free, just like we see Robloxy profile pics. They're our like free advertisement and branding. So I'm actually bullish on avatar collections that are built around cool big IPs with fun gameplay. So yeah.
And I saw a question from the community that PVM was asking, does the same NFT work on all the Maze games?
That's a very nice question. And if you could, we can add this person to the winners. But it's not to all games that we release because, again, many of the assets doesn't work or should not work in every game. But for example, the crypto mites, the little dudes, they'll be playable in, currently they're playable in 2 games, but there will be a lot more coming with them. So again, it's a narrative that will be going as long as CryptoMaze is running, as we develop cool things. So don't think only about gaming, think about short animations, think about brand integrations, fashion. So it's your special character that you have. So we have a lot of experiences with it. And actually, when you log in with it, you get some cool bonuses because unlike in Web 2, like if you don't pay, nobody cares about you. But here, your on-chain reputation, what your account has, your wallet, just like Ivan and the ENS domains, like it matters. And we respect that. And the big brands that will be coming into the space are also very interested about this on-chain reputation, how active you are, how much time you spend, how much money you spend, have you used a cross protocol? All of this data is super important, and that's something special that we have here in Web3.
Beautiful. So we talked a little bit about the NFT space and how it's kind of everyone is in a big community. It's all love. And yeah, maybe the more competitive strategy isn't super working. So I wanted to ask from you three who are in the gaming space, when you hear these announcements that massive traditional gaming companies are starting to get into blockchain gaming or adding NFTs. I think we mentioned a couple of them in today's chat, maybe CSGO or Call of Duty. I know Square Enix did a big announcement maybe earlier this year. How does that feel for Web3 gaming company? Does it feel like, I don't know, is it all love here as well? Is everyone excited about that? Or do you feel disingenuous and more competitive?
I can pick this one up. There was recently, you are right, like it was recently so many big brands joining the space. If it was 2017, we would probably be on the moon, baby. Like, I remember like in 2017, like if a Best Buy would like say something about NFT, everybody go crazy, right? But nowadays, right, nobody cares. Nike do the drops, everybody do the drops, Gucci making millions on the NFTs. And I think what we're really winning, like as a projects from like collectively from all this, is that the borderline is moving from all of us. So we're speaking about adoption on App Store, Google Play Market, and you name it, right? So because now the main problem with like the 2017 problem was that, for example, you can't promote crypto on Twitter. It was like forbidden, right? Forbidden to promote anything related to like crypto NFTs or anything similar. So now it's completely open, and now Google and other platforms are moving into support like apps that have this kind of integrations. And we've seen that before. For example, you can't make like NFT game on your phone, but you can install like MetaMask browser and you can play games on your phone. So the borderline was just like one click away. So now it's moving closer, and those games like Zynga investment into Sugar, like Sugar Town, or any other like Web3 P2 like play to earn or whatever. They call it like games. They're just moving border for us, and we will collectively win from like adoption, from the legal adoption, from like countries investing money into like into making this rules more transparent for everybody. And that would be a huge win for us as a community, because I think it's still pretty challenging to work in this space, because it's still like pretty much like a gray area, and we like collectively as a project and as a community spending a lot of resources on R&D, on support, on any type of like how-to knowledge in this space. So I would say that it's a big win for us as a community, and we really like happy to see that other projects, other big companies are exploring the space, even they're like trying, like keep it like low and still like pretty test mode, but like we all know where it's going, right?
Yeah, I hope the border gets pushed a little bit further so we can get some like Google ads and Twitter ads running, because I think that's still like a little bit blocked, but at least, yeah, we're able to freely promote on our own platforms, which is really nice. Did you want to mention anything about this one, Rick?
So yeah, I think the games, the big games like Call of Duty and others, they're waiting for, they're announcing that they're coming to the blockchain, but I believe they also want, they have more to lose, right? So they're looking for first success. So if we see some kind of model within blockchain gaming that is very successful, then they might just replicate it into their game and create a game in that way with their IP and their name on it. But I believe the true innovation will come more from indie studios like Web3 native people, and then it will be adopted, let's say, by the bigger brands.
Gotcha. And I wanted to ask you, actually, Rick, and everyone else, feel free to like chime in on this, but since we are in the Web3 era of airdrop farming and rewards-based on-chain activity, I wanted to ask you, I understand that it does seem like it's a win-win for both the users and the protocols, of course, because you have user adoption, people trying out your protocol, and then the users do get a reward. So no one's losing, but there is maybe a bit of a push and pull about like how sustainable is this? And we did evolve to this. So will we naturally evolve out of this phase? So for those who think that we might eventually, even though it might take years, like move away from this cultural phase of Web3, how do you like plan to overcome a culture shift? And do you think we will ever move away from quest-based activity?
Yeah, so I can take this one. So I think you're right. Like everyone is trying to get some monetary value out of their activities within crypto, and it's especially nefast for games in Web3, because then what do? They attract the wrong audience, and they don't attract real gamers through their activity, but like value extractors, and then they end up with a player base that is not really interested and wrong target audience. So what we are basically trying to do is minimize that. I don't think we will be able to let's say eliminate it fully, but what we do is like a proof of play. So basically, you need to play a certain game, do certain actions within the game, and after that, after you will receive a confirmation that this quest is complete, and that will give you like a reputation. So games can then target the right users for eventually a whitelist, an airdrop, or whatsoever. So, and by doing this approach, it's way more time and monetary difficult to sybil attack it. Because you have to play the game, you have perhaps to buy an asset first, and then you get like, let's say, whitelisted. And we can then cross-reference with other games. So your whole, let's say, on-chain gaming passport will have then the whole history of your gaming history on chain, and yeah, then games can select their users based on that. Oh, I want whales, or I want players that have a lot of experience in first-person shooters in my game, and then they can just target them and do an airdrop to them. So that's how we see it evolving in Web3 gaming, actually.
Okay, so price list tool for targeting. Gotcha. Sorry, go ahead, Ivan. Yep.
Yeah, I really like the ggQuest approach, like that they're taking this like very like primitive narrative and they transforming it into something that could be actually targetable. Maybe like I definitely agree that the project like this, like the Quest ggQuest should exist, but maybe the time is a little bit early. I just hope that like in a year time the market will pick up right on this because that's actually very important that you can selectify like the user base and you can also have like this shared by at the same time open source database for activity. But I just want to mention like a couple of cents on what the ggQuest said regarding the value farming. I think like in the end of the day, like value farming is not, it's like it's a definition game, right? Because when you're trying to come to crypto and you're trying to extract some value from it, you're actually forgetting all the value that is not direct monetary value that you're getting. So because from crypto and as from any other thing from our life, we're extracting like connections, we're extracting emotions, we're extracting knowledge, because there is no friends or enemies, right? There's only teachers. So when it comes to crypto, it's definitely the education, the education center for people who want to learn more about marketing, social engineering, technologies, all kind of stuff that is popping, and it's very on the edge, and people love that. So I think like value farming is okay. We just need to kind of like be be respectful to everybody like who's coming to space with different means, because yes, robots farm is like, for example, people ask like how do you play the game. It's free, so you come, you click, like if you have old wallet, we check your wallet for like certain amount of like specifics, and then we see that your wallet have like a skin in the game, and then you can play the game. You can just like click every day, you can get the items, you can open the boxes, you can do everything that other players do. Is it like it's first attracting maybe like different quality of users, so somebody just came for like quick flip, but other came for for long-term like vision, and that's like also good because like that's kind of mechanics, for example, give us the opportunity to filter out these people who are not really believing in the project and they came in the first place just to make like a quick flip on NFTs. Here you go, brother, right? You can go and probably flip it for like 20 or 30 cents in a like at the time, and like probably that will be your income, and we're fine with that. And maybe you're going to extract some emotions while you be on our Discord. Maybe you will join the space with the cross and you learn something new. So that's what we bring to the market. I don't think it's all about games, because in the end of the day you are actually fighting for eyeballs, and I think what you're actually fighting for is giving people experience they won't forget. So yeah, I think that's like my 2 cents, and I see CryptoMates have it's hands-on, so I think you have also something to it.
Yeah, I think basically this airdrop farming for decentralization, this was interesting chapter in the space. I think one of the first to do something like this were Dfinity, called Internet Computer ICP, obviously Uniswap when they did their retroactive drop. But right now, I think there's a liquidity problem in the space. A lack of people who are daily active, people who are in. So when you do all kinds of quests or incentives for a very small amounts of people, I don't think the actual data that you're receiving is very, very nice. So I expect a shift in the whole decentralization process. For CryptoMace, I can say we'll switch it up for sure. Of course, we respect the crypto OGs and we'll have that. But for the people who are coming to the space, who are the actual next billion of people who come to Web3, we can't proceed with the usual quest-based and farming stuff. It should be something different. And I can't wait to see what other models will come up.
Yeah, I can't wait as well. But it is an interesting time, and I think as Ivan said, it's a really incredible learning opportunity for everyone. And yeah, we're all winning, so it's lots of fun. But yeah, curious to see how sustainable it is. But wanted to ask just some individual questions to our guests today. Maybe we can start with Ivan. I wanted to ask, and I believe Alex mentioned that you can't NFT everything, right? So, but because people do try to gamify on-chain activities to the max, they sometimes don't always get it right. But how does Robots Farm do this impeccably?
Hi, yeah, that's a good question. So I think like just like aching back to what we already like touched upon regarding how how NFTs are actually a great mean of exchange, but at the same time, it's not like the most important thing. So, for example, on our in our game, you can have you can see the whole statistic on the dashboard, and we have currently like around 1 million items found, but only 10,000 of these items were like ever bridged out of the game to be traded. So, what I think is like with NFT space is like, yeah, it's evolving. Like the value of NFTs is going down because it's actually easier and easier to create them. So it's kind of like an inflation of mean, but obviously like there is no more place for this 10,000 collections, because obviously like this whole idea was just like kind of like, no, I would say it was framed, right, very like unintentionally, like doesn't look like natural at all. So like the whole space will grow, and like people just play the games that they like. And I think that when you think about sustainability of all this, the regular games like for example Clash of Clans or Clash of Royale, or like any big games, big names that you like there's on the market, you can see that the economy is like sustainable, but it's actually need plenty of users. You need like next million users, because I think when we speak about Clash of Clans, we have like an online that is around 20 million. And this kind of economy obviously like is booming, right? Because you have still a lot of people who are like investing into game, forgetting the asset, they're like doing something like wrong, they're losing their assets. So I think the whole crypto space is a little bit about risk taking. So when this element is kind of like implemented into your funnels, I don't think like you have a problem with thinking about like how sustainable it is, because you are not like, obviously you have to ask yourself a questions where the yield come from, because if you can't answer the question where the yields come from, probably it's you. But when you think about like a poker table, you don't think about where the yields come from. Yields come from the other players, right? So when you think about exchange, you know where the money come from. They're coming from other players who believe in this, where you're not believing in this. So you're selling Bitcoin now, and somebody's buying Bitcoin now because they believe in it more than you believe in it, or you have a different kind of like your life situation. So we will see that gradually come to the NFT space. We'll see that gradually come to all other aspects of of trading, as like the technology would be just seamless. Like right across protocol is one of these technologies that making things more seamless for the end user. So now I can transfer my funds from one chain to another chain, right? Pretty much like a fraction of the cost compared to other bridges, and that give me the leverage that I'm talking about, right? Like 10 years from now, we have more projects like this, more projects that are across, more projects by Uno Labs, right? And those things will just fill in the gaps that we all have. And the trading and everything would be just on tip of your fingers, if you will. Yeah, I think that was a great question. And it's extraordinary panel. I love all the speakers and their thoughts.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for all the kind words about Across. Glad to hear that you've been, enjoying some of the cost savings, especially, right, and the time savings of Across on zkSync. So thank you for mentioning that. And yeah, I think it's been really fun too. I love gaming myself, so just hearing everyone's thoughts on like where this is going and how you're really taking advantage of all the technology we have available to us to improve gaming experience for people is so cool. I wanted to ask the next question to ggQuest. I know you haven't launched yet, so can we get a bit of alpha? When can we expect to be able to enjoy your platform?
Oof, you're asking me a lot there. Should I drop some alpha?
Oh my God, of course.
Okay. So basically, we've been building since 1 year with a team of 7, 5 engineers, and we're about to release our testnet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna give the ability for people to mint their reputation token, which we call Quest ID. mint them early and test the platform because they were able to mint it. And well, they will have something that will not be forgotten, let's say. So yeah, very soon I would say join our server on Discord and keep an eye out because we are very community centric and we love people that are there giving us ideas. We even like implement the ideas that we receive from the community. So yeah, that's the alpha I can give at the moment.
Beautiful. Yeah, fast community implementation reminds me of Tahoe, which, yeah, Nico, if you ever want to chime in, please do. But your Tahoe wallet is incredible at that.
I am just hanging on every word. Amanda, this is such a great panel. But thank you for mentioning us.
And I guess the final question is for Crypto Maze. Yeah, I just wanted to also hear what your future plans are. Actually, Ivan, too. We'll have you at the final question about future plans, but for now, we'll ask after the success of Maze Race and, as you mentioned, like sold out Moody Mites collection, what can we expect? And do any alpha, any other special surprises too?
Well. I would say what people can expect within the Q4 is the absolute best thing we have ever built. So the alpha in our community, people know that we tend to drop a lot of alpha. About the zkSync ecosystem, we have a few talks with some people from zkSync this week. So there are very cool brands coming into zkSync. There are very nice surprises. And we're actually working on something special for the Matter Labs team around the next big events that they'll be announcing. Again, to my opinion, this will be the absolute biggest mint of the year that is coming. But from us, we're working on a game. It's going to be on Google Play. It has AI integration. It's a lot of fun. And everyone should be super hyped about it. Everyone will be able to experience it for free, of course, and gain something special from it. But our team is super excited around that. So I would say look after our Twitter account, look at zkSync, what they're announcing, and be active because the best is yet to come, I would say.
Whoa, we really name dropped a lot of big brands today. So I am very much looking forward to seeing who is next coming into the Web3 space. So we will be keeping our eyes peeled. And Ivan, did you want to mention anything about Robots Farm that we can look forward to in the near or long-term future?
Yeah, definitely. But first, shout out to Nico, man. Like, great host, man. Love it. It's like keeping it quiet, don't ask too many questions. It's we should invite you to our panels as well. Yeah, well, but anyway, I think like what is actually the most interesting part is I think we been perceived as a game for quite long time, but this game was only built for like onboarding experience and for fair distribution of our token. And what we're actually heading in is gamified exchange experience, and that would be like shortly presented. We're working on that with our partners, and we kind of like have quite a few partners that are NDA that would be released later with the tokenomics and with the exchange itself, because you see that the space is growing and not everybody is like looking for there should be a different like means of exchange, and also exchanges that are focused on the different kind of like user bases, right? So we've seen a lot of exchanges who providing like different financial services, but what I can say that we will try to do that slightly different. So if you're interested in what we do, you are welcome to click the gear icon, the Robots Farm in the chat, and visit our website, learn more. Obviously, do your own research. Don't listen to FUD in the space. We've seen a lot of things going back and forth. But so far, pretty good. Like we're sitting at 8,000 daily active users. We just crossed this mark yesterday because we are enabled some of the wallets from Binance and Polygon chains, so they are now eligible for daily free play. And we are going to expand the network in the near future because now we're just working with the type of problem that ggQuest, for example, explained, like a sybil attacks and stuff like that. So we're trying to minimize the risk and also like increase the complexity, like in a nice way, like increase the manner of the game. So you are better focused on playing with one account rather than you do like a sybil, like 10, 20 accounts, and then you will technically like lose in terms of your time and value and your record. So yeah, but that's like in a nutshell. Really love the space, really digging the vibe. Hope we have that sometimes again. Great panel.
Yeah, it was really great. Thank you so much. And yeah, thanks for also spending some time on optimization, because I know that might not seem like incredibly exciting, but that is so important. Like at Across 2, we really value getting what you do right. So I think everyone in the 8,000 users, by the way, super impressive. And I'm sure all of them will be thanking you guys for the dedication to optimization. And yeah, we really thank everyone for joining the panel. I think we had a ton of NFT talk. Just wanted to shout out Tahoe again, their NFT wallet. Everyone sings their praises. Nico had mentioned in another panel that there is this feature where you can kind of toggle off any of those sort of random NFTs that are airdropped to you that you don't even want to see in your NFT collections. I think that's like a really valuable feature. So if you haven't tried out Tahoe Wallet, please go ahead. And of course, for all your token transfers to zkSync, feel free to go to across.to/bridge. The bridge aggregators don't lie. It's the cheapest and the fastest way to get to and from zkSync era. And we thank CryptoMaze, Tahoe Wallet for co-hosting, of course, Robots Farm, Ivan, and Rick from ggQuest. Thank you guys.
Thank you for
Yeah.
having me. It was lovely. Thank you.
Let's go.
Thank you all so much. This was such a great panel. Just incredible. And, Amanda, thank you. For everybody, I did want to just share, we're all sharing a little bit of alpha, but yeah, thank you again. There's an amazing campaign happening right now between Tahoe and Across. And I just think if anybody wants to find out more, you can always stop by tahoe.xyz. But yeah, we're very honored to be a part of everything that Across is doing. And I just thank you guys so much for letting me co-host today. This was incredible panel. I mean, so much knowledge shared today. What a great offering.
Yeah, thanks for the audience.
Yes, Amanda, thank you very much for hosting us today. We appreciate you being so kind and asking us all these nice different questions and pulling this whole space in a bit.
Thank you. Wow, it is really all love in the gaming space. I gotta say, it was really a pleasure getting to know you guys, and we'll see everyone on the next AMA for
Ça va?
Ape In to zkSummer. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.